of Book 1, Everything You Know Is Wrong, Human Origins. Lloyd was a presenter for us at the summer seminars this last summer, and he is one of those few rare, extraordinary people that has been invited back to repeat. And after you see and hear his presentation, you'll begin to understand why. He, well, he's a friend at this point. He really is. And he's an awfully good man, and he's got a brilliant mind, and you're gonna love this presentation. He's a native of Louisiana. He's a graduate of Tulane University. He has a BS in psychology. He's been a writer for over 25 years, and he's been a thinker for a lot longer than that. Ladies and gentlemen, Lloyd Pye.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that very much. For those of you that have seen this movie before, you're going to notice that the front end of it is going to be missing. I'm not going to do the part about Darwinism because I'm going to add some material at the end that I didn't have at the last time, and I think you'll find it interesting. So what we're going to do is just start right in with the human origins, in as much as the book is about human origins, and we'll go from there. All right, can we have the first slide? All right, everybody just take a minute and look at this. This is, wait, that's right, I don't need to do that. This is what we're all told is how we began as human beings. That we came out of the primordial sludge and step by step evolved into what we are today. Everything in that chain up to us is eat, survive, reproduce. We are, what's it all about? We have that incredible ability to say and think, what's it all about? How'd that happen? That's what this is going to be about. What we're told is, of course, that we're a natural flow of things, and that with this guy right here, we share a common bond that begins between 8 and 5 million years ago. 8 and 5 million years ago. Reason being, we know that we have upright walking primates of some kind or other at around 4 million years ago. So they just jack it back and figure if we're upright walking at 4, we probably split from a common ancestor with the down on all 4 apes between 8 and 5 million years ago. We know we were upright walking at 4 because we have proof of it at 3.5. Next slide, please. These are the famous Laetoli tracts of Tanzania, Africa, discovered by Mary Leakey and her team in 1978. And here you see what they are. We're in solidified ash. We have a large pair here, smaller pair here. We assume it was a couple moving along. And we see the track here in a blow-up is not quite human. It's different in several ways, but it's human enough to make it very clear that we have upright walking bipedal creatures 3.5 million years ago, no doubt, measured by ashfall, which is very accurate. So that's why we jack it back. If we were this upright at 3.5, we had to be upright at around 4, and that's where you get your dates of 5 to 8 million years ago, the split from the common ancestor. All right, now, next slide, please. Here's the depiction of how this happened. The nearby volcano laid out a layer of ash. The creatures go walking along, leaving their tracks. Then another layer of ash comes, seals the layer, and then 3.5 million years later, a rivulet comes through here, cuts through, exposes one of the tracks. One of Mary Leakey's team sees it, and then they peel back the layers until they expose the whole thing. Miracle piled on miracle. It's just amazing, an amazing discovery. Now, the reason I show you this is I want you to notice that all pre-humans that you will see in the books, and go back and you can check, they will show you a head that looks like this one pretty much, grossly primate in its characteristics rather, because that's what the skulls of all pre-humans look like. But then they'll always stick these human bodies underneath those heads. And this is a subtle brainwashing that is performed on all of us to make us think that these are, in fact, pre-humans, because that's what they're called. That's what anthropologists call them, pre-humans. Now, you can't pretend that those heads are in any way human, so they don't, but they leave the body parts looking, you know, amazingly human. You have the hands coming down mid-thigh, and you know, I hate to say it, but God, this looks a lot like my body right there. Point is, we're all being misled by these depictions, and notice them continually. It's the way I'm telling you. Now, next slide, please. Lucy is very famous. Everybody should know her story. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, 1974, Afar Valley, Ethiopia, discovered by Donald Johanson and his team. She is the first of the so-called pre-humans. They are the Australopithecines, and she is one of the first types. Now, what we know from her is a remarkable amount, because we have 40% of her body recovered. With mirror imaging, that gives us 80%. So much more than any other fossil at the time. It was just amazing. So we know a lot about her. She stood about 3 feet 6 inches to 3 feet 8 inches tall. Very diminutive relative to us. But her bones, all of her bones, are much more robust than ours. Her upper arm bone here, for example, which is much longer than ours would be if it was a human that size. This arm bone it would end about right here. Also, it would be about that thick. So we can see she's much more robust than we are in all of her dimensions. She has the head of a chimpanzee, which we cannot tell from her skull, as you can see, but from others like her. Head of a chimpanzee. But we do know that she walks upright because we have her hip joint and her pelvis, and we have particularly her knee joint, all of which are amazingly human. So we know she walked upright, no question about it. She was an upright walking creature. Just didn't have bones that looked anything like ours, or a head for that matter. Now, one other thing I want to point out about this is the people that are paid to go out and find these fossils, these pre-human fossils, are paid to find pre-human fossils. So what they do is they fudge it every way they can to make them look human, and they always have problems with the arms, because all the arms of the pre-humans are too long from here to here, from shoulder to elbow relative to us. So if you notice, what they did is they fudged this way up beyond where it ought to be to get this up here, so they could get the fingertip down around mid-thigh, when in reality it belongs down around here. Keep these little tricks in mind. This is all part of the subtle brainwashing campaign that is waged against you to make you believe that they're telling it to you straight about how this all happened. Okay, next slide. All right, as I said, these are the first 4 of the Australopithecines, and Lucy is one of the first kind, Australopithecus afarensis. We have Africanus, we have Robustus, we have Boise. All right, we have basically a pair of upright walking chimpanzees, upright walking gorillas. You can see that, length of face, width of face, and sagittal crest, which modern gorillas have. It's that ridge of bone where their muscles attach to the tops of their heads. So from 4 million years ago to approximately 2 million years ago, we have a pair of upright walking chimps, a pair of upright walking gorillas, and that's it. Okay? Now, at 2 million years ago, we have a transformation. We are told it is a transition, that somehow the Australopithecines segued into the next creature, which is Homo. Homo meaning man. You will see they are indeed more man-like than are the Australopithecines, which are clearly primates, upright walking primates. So, we have this changeover from Australopithecines to Homos. We're told that it is a transition, it is a transformation, as you will see with this slide. Next slide, please. Okay, here we go. Australopithecine, early Homo. Notice, if you will, this is not a transition. This would require 20 or 30 gradual changes to get in from this to this. It is an overnight change. It is just sudden. Boom. The Homos are here. I don't mean that like it sounds. Okay, next slide. All right, the Homos are here. Here we go. The Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo archaic, Homo neanderthal, and then Cro-Magnon, Homo sapiens, us.